So what is the appeal of somebody who Crystal and I are fortunate enough to know, who's #1 podcaster in the world, Joe Rogan? What makes him the best?
No, we have like 7 videos on him. He actually has a lot. I don't know. Do you want to start? If not, I'm happy to.
I mean, he is, I think, the person that we've done the most times, because there is really a lot. So I'll let you start.
Yeah, he does something that most people struggle with, which is he is interesting to listen to and good at asking questions and listening. And most people, charismatically, they fall into the one or two camps. So they'll be incredible entertainers, but not necessarily people that are good at just listening and asking questions and maintaining good eye contact. And he can get his ego out of the way, listen to a story, even when he disagrees, bite his tongue, which leads to his guests getting to say incredibly interesting things, which makes him a good podcast host. And at the same time, there's clips of him standing up for himself in a way that people would normally feel very uncomfortable doing, which makes you respect him. Because I think a lot of times there's a feeling of respect anytime you see someone do something that you know you would be too afraid to do. And that can be giving a big speech, approaching someone that you're intimidated to approach, like a boss or someone attractive, or just standing up for themselves. And then he's a stand-up comic. So as much as people might say he's not the best stand-up comic, he is a funny, happy guy. He laughs very easily. He makes guests feel good because of how smiley and laughy he is. So I think he just happens to do a lot of things. And then this is a separate thing. He likes MMA, psychedelics. He knows a lot about fitness, and he loves archaeology and science, and he loves conspiracy theories. So he just happens to have a genuine interest in topics that people find interesting, whereas most people are more one note. So if you're a musician, you might be able to talk someone's ear off about music, but once they bring up sports, you kind of go blank. And he's happy to talk to you about whatever you like, whether it's evolutionary science, psychedelics, sports, anything really. He's just someone who has a large breadth of topics that he finds fascinating, which means he can engage with a lot more people than the one-note interviewers can.
Yeah. I think one of the things you said there is important too. Like, he's authentically interested in those topics. So he's not just like picking things that he thinks other people are going to be interested in. He just happens to be interested in things that a lot of people are very interested in. And even with him, when he's going down a rabbit hole of something I'm not that into, he makes it compelling, or he has people on that make the topic compelling.
Yeah, I mean, I think he does a really good job of being the everyman, which means he can bring on, if Neil deGrasse Tyson goes on an interview with a PhD physicist as the interviewer, some of us might not track what's happening for very long because they'll get into the weeds. And what Joe can do is be genuinely interested in the topic, not know much about it, and so have a conversation that is interesting for other people to observe. Because podcasting is about being a good conversationalist, but it's also about being someone people like to watch having a conversation. And those are actually two different skills.
Yeah. You guys mentioned his authenticity, and I think I don't know him. Maybe you guys can speak to this, but having had the background both in combat sports and stand-up comedy, those are two of the scariest things that a human being can engage in, at least in America, where things are relatively safe. And a lot of being a good conversationalist, or at least the authentic part of conversation, is about having courage. And so he is able to assertively, without aggressively, disagree with people. And he doesn't need to get in your face and be on top of you. But I remember, like, for instance, there's a Dave Rubin clip there. He's talking to him about building codes, and he assertively disagrees with him in that clip. And he doesn't hide the fact that he strongly disagrees. He doesn't make it soft for him, but he also doesn't say, I like that this is he doesn't shout him down, I suppose, is the answer. Whereas some people, when they are either at a zero disagreement, totally compliant and friendly, or they snap and then they are all in your face. I think that the courage that he's probably developed from those activities spills over and is what makes him so authentic. And I think it's also what is felt threatening to some people about the Spotify deal, is that would go away, that if he got a ton of money. And I've seen some of it, and I've seen him at least continue to be authentic in what I've watched.
We both know exactly what Dave Rubin, your clip you're talking about, and probably everyone listening also does. And yeah, he doesn't have to get like yelly or use personal insults to absolutely own Rubin in that moment.
Yeah, and then he just moves on too. It's not like he lingers. Like some people, some people, once there's the disagreement, it's like they'll linger on it, and it's just like you can feel the energy of it. But no, he'll like disagree, be on the record, and then it's like, all right, let's talk about something else. You know what I mean? And it's like a smooth transition. So tell me why Russell Brand is charismatic.
He's one of my favorites. I have a man crush on Russell Brand. So